Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with our Friday review, episode 2583. Hopefully you can head on over there now because I have so many great research links for you, product reviews, and so much more in store for you today. So we're going to be going through our product reviews of the week, of course. This week is a bit of a follow-up from last week. So last week I was asked about reviewing royal jelly and some other products that we don't typically talk about. So that was fun for me to tell you how to use those to potentially boost your immune system as a powerful antioxidant and so much more. Well, this week we're going to be going over some throat sprays for children, not just adults. I've talked about those in the past, but if you have kids or nieces, nephews, and you want to share the word, you can certainly do that. A couple great companies that I want to promote here today. We have a book review. This is for basically a mindset-based book for people that are feeling like they are not truly living their purpose, and this book will help walk you through it. Super easy to read this book. It's literally, I believe, a day read for most people, maybe two. And then you get to work the process. So we'll be going through that podcast recap. We have some research, and the interesting thing is like the research from today backs up what we've been teaching inside of IHP and doing in our practice now for over 12 years. And it's on urinary tract infections and actually how the gut is related to these infections. And so even though we've known for years what to do, we didn't necessarily have the science. The science has to catch up, right? We already know what works in natural health. We've known that for, well, many thousands of years. Now, some of it, of course, has gotten much better, don't get me wrong, over the last 50 years. But we've learned a lot of the origins, the root causes from Ayurvedic medicine, TCM, and many other naturopathic-based modalities. So I want to share with you the science now of how we can actually back that up, especially as integrative health practitioners with people around the world suffering from urinary tract infections, especially women who are 8 times more likely than men to get a urinary tract infection. So let's go over that here today. Let's take it from the top. I always give you my updates though. Updates for the week, pretty straightforward. We are now breaking March, right? So it's the first Friday in March. It is March 3rd as we're going through this show here today. And to me, again, this is the end of the sprint. This is the end of that 90-day start to the year or the first 12-week year. So the 12-week year is something I live by. I look at my kind of first quarter. I don't call them first quarter, but I look at as the first 12 weeks of the year. All right, as we move through the first 12 weeks of the year, I want to make sure that I'm on track with what I was looking to achieve in terms of my relationships and my work and career and study and health and all of those different things. And in some areas, I'm doing better than others, and other areas I'm behind. And so I look at that and I say, okay, and then I ask myself, am I okay with that? And as I ask myself if I'm okay with it, sometimes I am, because I know how much work maybe has to go into another area. And we don't always know, like kind of sometimes the best laid plans, right? The best laid plans don't always come to fruition due to certain challenges and obstacles in life. But overall, we need to make sure that we're checking in with ourselves, that we're moving forward. And so I'll talk more about that as we go through the end of March. We'll do a 12-week year check-in. But, overall, I'm happy. I'm always, patience is not one of those natural gifts that I was given, but, it's a blessing and a curse, as they say, right? So I always try to push hard in all the areas that mean something to me, and I always wish they were done yesterday. Now, having said that, though, I have this perspective and this gratitude just for life in general and being able to be healthy and to be happy. And so in the grand scheme of things, life is good. Life is very, very good, and I appreciate all that I have, all that I'm given, and all that I'm able to serve as well. And so that's kind of the kickoff to my March. But also, I wanted to share with you this too, because I've got a couple questions on this. Iboan, our app, Iboan, is really going strong. So we are now Not until about June. We won't even be a year in. But basically, what we are building right now is the largest resource for online meditations, online workouts, online cardio, online binaural beats, everything that you could possibly want. We're going to be coming out with an expert series of the month where I interview experts from their best areas all around the world. So pretty amazing stuff. And all of this is, most people qualify for this for free if you're part of the EquiLife-based community. And I would love for you to check it out. I mean, this, in my opinion, is going to replace most of the apps that you may even pay for. And you can find that at StephenCabral.com/Ayubowen. It's AYUBOWAN, Ayubowen. StephenCabral.com/Ayubowen. That's the app. It's free to download. It's free for most people to use the entire thing. And as an Ayubowen member, you actually get a free lab just for your participation in it. So it's going to change the game. It really is. And in just a few months from now, it's going to take a few months, but we're going to be building a practitioner portal inside of it. Practitioners are going to be able to upload privately all of their wellness clients or patients' labs. They're going to be able to do video chat with them. They're able to then use any of our online workouts or meditations. It's going to be the best portal for practitioners out there. And it's simply because we want to raise the industry. These are things that I wanted many, many years ago to make it simple for all of the wellness clients that I work with. And so again, this is the future. I mean, the future is precision-based at-home lab testing, which means then customized protocols delivered over a secure app, and then all of your workouts, nutrition, all of your diet plans are right there created for you, your shopping lists, your previous lab results, your wellness plan, everything is in one spot. I mean, it's not easy. I'll tell you right now, this is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my career, bar none. But sometimes the hardest things we do are going to be the best. I really believe that. And I hope that what we're doing here is the bridge then to the future and just continues to iterate from there and get even better for our community. And that's what it's all about. I would love to see 1 million people inside of that app. We have about 20,000 right now, but I'd love to see 1 million people inside of that app, all with that precision-based program built just for them. That is the way to heal. That's the way to live a long, healthy life. I truly believe that. And we're going to continue to work on it every single week, every single month, every single year. All right. One other update, because people are asking me, I send out my Wednesday product reviews, about twice a month to 3 times a month now, and asking me about OneSkin. OneSkin is the new, it doesn't do it justice to call it a moisturizer. I don't actually think the company should call it a moisturizer. It is a moisturizer, but really what it is, it's an anti-aging serum is a better way to say it. And I know serum already has its own connotation in the skincare world, but this is a moisturizer you put on that actually has OS-1. So OS-1, a specific peptide. This peptide has been clinically proven through scientific research to remove senescent cells, basically dead skin cells that cause a lot of the inflammation and aging in our skin. So this product helps to remove those faster. It helps as an antioxidant, so for skin rejuvenation, and it helps to build up more collagen. So when we're looking at this, what do we get? Well, we get brighter, clearer, cleaner, more plump skin. That's where the youthfulness comes from. And you can see there before and after. So, I'm impressed with what they've done. I really am. I will link up. And if there's still a discount code, I'll link up here today at StephenCabral.com/2583. But they're doing great work over there. It's 4 female PhDs that created this, I believe out of Brazil, but I don't want to be quoted on that specifically, but 4 amazing PhDs that actually did the research on this, clinically proven. I've been using the product now for about 2 months, and I can say I'm going to continue using it. I really am. So that's my update on the product. It's a great product. Continue to plan on using it, and can definitely vouch for it. So I'm going to see, I think we have a 15% off discount code. I will check with my team. They will link it up at StephenCabral.com/2583. All right, what's going on over at EquiLife this week? We are giving away our free CBD gummies. One note on this, I'll probably talk about it more in another Friday review. I don't want to take your time on it here today. It looks like the FDA is going to be banning CBD sales. So it's been a long time running. Anybody who's been following EquiLife for quite some time knew that we were talking about CBD and offering it to people like way back in 2017 and 18, like before CBD was even a thing, because at that time, there was a little over 900 studies with the clinical verification proving how well cannabinoids worked. Like, I knew they worked. I saw the research. I tried them myself. I mean, again, I'm not giving any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis, but for anxiety, nervousness, poor sleep, certain inflammatory-based issues, it just flat works, right? Like, and yes, you should find the underlying root cause. I'm not discounting that, but combination of like magnesium, adrenal soothe, CBD, really powerful, right? Like, I mean, just great stuff. So anyway, I actually don't know how much longer CBD will be available. That's the truth. We're not going to get into a battle with the FDA. Like, that's a losing battle. So I just want to share this with you. I'm sure CBD will be available at, I don't know the right name for them, but like marijuana type clinics, right? I don't know, like, again, what the right term for that is, but if you can buy THC, marijuana, cannabis-based products, you'll probably be able to buy CBD in there, yes. But you won't be able to buy it online from, good companies that are giving you organic, like our CBD is organic, right? It's full spectrum. It's really powerful stuff. And the CBD gummies that we have no artificial colors and no artificial flavors, which is like, I don't know if anybody else is doing that, to be honest with you. So we're giving away bottles right now. We will not be restocking. So just to let you know that, you can get a free bottle though, free bottle of our watermelon CBD gummies with all qualifying purchases at stevencabral.com/shop while supplies last. And also, these do not ship everywhere. They only ship in the US, and we can't ship to every state because there are laws against shipping CBD to certain states. There's about 8 of them. So check it all out at stevencabral.com/shop. I'd love you to get a bottle. They're absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. All right, podcast recap for the week. Monday's show is the 3 phases of growth required to be a better person or to be better in any area of your life. Definitely check out that show if you haven't already. Tuesday's show is new alcohol health guidelines and studies for consumption. How much? Like I have a study from Spain, a study from Canada, a study from, or big study over the US. And so that was Tuesday's show. How many alcoholic drinks is actually okay before it leads to cancer or potentially leads to cancer? Wednesday's show is the 7 reasons for high blood sugar beyond diet. So forget about the excess carbs, forget about the processed carbohydrates and sugar. What else could cause high levels of blood sugar? And then yesterday's show is finding your proper metabolic and longevity zone when doing cardio. So for cardio, all of those are at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right, product review of the week. These are things that I actually use with my kids. And I've got one right here. This is by BeeKeepers Natural. If you haven't heard of BeeKeepers, again, I have no affiliation with them, but they're just a good company. And they have a lot of propolis-based products. So BeeKeepers Naturals, this one's is Kids Propolis Immune Support. This has glycerin and a little bit of honey to make it sweeter. We don't always use the kids one. We sometimes just use the regular propolis spray, to be honest with you. We don't always use the sweetened one. My girls use both. I oftentimes use some of the adult-based ones with my kids because they're stronger. I'm going to give you the whole children's immune protocol in just a moment, but you'll see the immune syrup that we're currently using with them is actually the adult one. We just use a little less of it because you're just going to get more, and there's typically less additives to it because it doesn't need to be maybe as sweet. So the first one is this immune support. When it says immune support, really what it is the BeeKeepers is propolis. Propolis is fantastic, powerful antioxidant. Talked a little bit about that last week as well. The second one is Sovereign Silver. This one says daily immune support. It's a spray. You can get a nasal spray or a throat spray. We use this with our daughters as well whenever there's a sore throat or tonsil-based issue, both of these actually. And all this is pharmaceutical grade water and nanoparticle silver. So it's a colloidal silver, but this company does not call it colloidal silver. It's called sovereign silver, but really what it is just nanoparticle colloidal silver. Why did I pick this brand? Honestly, there's probably 100 colloidal silver brands. This one had the best research that I found. It had the best suspension of nanoparticles and the smallest particles, which is better for absorption and not building up in the system so the body can use it and then remove it. So we use these 2 to 3 times a day. There's basically 3 to 4 squirts they do of the Propolis, and they do 3 to 4 squirts in the back of their throat. We try to coat the back of the throat with that. We'll use other things as well. So when my girls had swollen tonsils, I believe I did a protocol already on that. If you can't find it, I'll link it up at stevencabral.com/2583. And I can't link up supplement protocols, unfortunately. But if you want to see exactly what I do for my daughters and kids in our practice, just go to stevencabral.com/children protocol. I'm going to make sure that's it right now. stevencabral.com/children protocol. Let's make sure that works. No S, just children-protocol. All right, that's it. That's everything that I do with my daughters. Literally everything that you can do. You don't need to do all of it, but I gave you everything. Oh yeah, the healthy tonsil protocol is right there as well. Gargle with it, and I give you all of that right there. And then if you want my adult protocol, it's stevencabral.com/the-protocol. It's what I personally do if I get a virus or infection. So again, I'm not giving any medical advice. It's what I personally do, and I want to share that with you. All right, so that's that. Let's move on now to our book review of the week. And that is a book. I looked to see if I ever recommended it to you because I've had the book for so long. This was actually written in 2000, so it's not like this came out yesterday. But I like to tell people that good books are evergreen, right? Like really good books. They last forever. That's why I love books so much. So this one is called Who You Were Meant to Be, A Guide to Finding or Recovering Your Life's Purpose. And it's by Dr. Lindsay C. Gibson. She's a doctor of psychology. And doctor of psychology, yes, not psychiatry, psychology. And why I wanted to share this with you, I'm not sure if I have, but I believe I shared this in IHP Mastery. And if I haven't, we'll certainly link this up as well. But this is a really easy read. Like I'm talking about, you could read this no more than a week, but certainly within, no more than a week, but probably in just a couple days, because I think you'll think it's like super interesting. So I've got, I've got a few pages dog-eared here. I don't want to give the whole book away. I like to tell you who this is good for. This is the beginning of your finding your journey. Like you have decided right now, the job that I'm in right now, the career that I'm in for right now, what I'm doing right now is not my passion. It's not my purpose. You feel like there was something more that you were meant to do. And also maybe you feel like you were stifled a little bit as a child and you're having difficulty even figuring out what it is that you're meant to do. Maybe you feel like you're living someone else's life. That is who this book is for. So, it starts to go through different checklists. Like this is like a workbook. These are books that I like to write myself, where it's taking you through it and saying, oh yes, that's me. No, that's not me. And then it talks about how your ego gets in the way of actually deciding what is right for you and not right for you. It gives you all these different points on what to look for if the ego is actually involved and not the true you. If you're trying to impress other people, like your parents or other people around you, but it's not actually the real you. So it is a good book. I would definitely recommend checking out. It reads like a workbook. You'll probably take notes as you go along. And I absolutely think that you could read this within a week or so. And I think that it will inspire you to hopefully take your life to that next level. So again, easy to read, definitely recommend it. Who You Were Meant to Be, I'll link it up today at stevencabral.com/2583. All right, we've got one research study for you here today because I want to go a little bit more in depth. It's something, like I said, we've been working with women in our practice for many, many years. Urinary tract infections. Here's the issue. Urinary tract infections basically affect the urethra. So the urethra, essentially where you're urinating through, can get bacteria in it. Easier for women to get bacteria in the urethra than it is for men. Sometimes, not all the times, especially when you're younger, a lot of women can actually, or children can actually get fecal matter from their rectum in to the urethra, and then that's causing urinary tract infections in young children. Okay, for adult women, it could be from sexual intercourse. It could, though, also be from the gut, and that is what we're talking about here today. They're now finding that 80%, I mean, this is, talk about like getting into the research, and then all of a sudden, whoa, it says, although all of the other reasons hold true, approximately 80% of the cases, research also shows that other differences and imbalances in the gut microbiome play a role. So regardless of all the issues that we think that urinary tract infections may be caused by, oftentimes it is actual imbalances in the gut microbiome. They say that bacteria like E. coli, bacteria such as, let me go through a few of these, an overgrowth of bacteroidetes, as well as not enough Firmicutes, bacteria like Enterococcus, Staphylococcus can be increased. What else do they show? Aerococcus. Again, all different types of bacteria. You don't need to know what all of these mean. Here's exactly what it means as the bottom line. There are imbalances in the gut microbiome, meaning that there's more negative bacteria, bad bacteria like E. coli, which, believe it or not, you're supposed to have some E. coli, just not overgrown, right? You're supposed to have bacteroidetes and you're supposed to have Firmicutes, just in balance. That actually helps with mood and fat burning as well. This is clinically proven. And now they're showing it with urinary tract infections. They're also showing that the vaginal microbiome, so the flora, which is called the bacteria, so the flora of a woman's vagina can be imbalanced as well. She can have negative base bacteria. They're showing exposure to what's called Gardnerella vaginalis can activate E. coli. So although everybody kind of has E. coli, but it's not always activated in some women. Why? Well, there's a negative bacteria that might activate the E. coli that may have otherwise remained dormant inside of the urethra or bladder as well. Why is this important? Because it could lead to bladder infections. It could even lead to kidney-based infections. So, and then, again, we've been doing this for years, boric acid-based suppositories followed by lactobacilli-based vaginal suppositories. They're finding a specific lactobacillus called crispatus. Again, we use just Lactobacillus acidophilus, but they're showing one crispatus, reduced recurrent urinary tract infections in premenopausal women. So, I mean, the research is clear. This is, again, my recommendation, not giving you medical advice. Run the bacterial parasite stool test, run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. Look to see if there's yeast overgrowth. Look to see if there's bacterial overgrowth. Bacterial vaginosis can lead to urinary tract infections. So, or if you're not able to test, maybe begin the CBO protocol with the citruscyl drops, right? Then do the CBO finisher to begin to heal and seal that gut wall, because they're also finding that inflammation could potentially cause a lot of this circulation as well. So we have leaky gut with inflammation causing circulation of these bacteria, potentially ending up then in the urethra or bladder. So really important that we look at this from a root causal level. We've been talking about this. Again, we're not looking for any gold stars, that's for sure, right? That's not what this is about. But it's just to let you know that when people say, well, what does the science say? What does the science say? Well, sometimes the science has not caught up yet to what we already know are the underlying root causes. And then we're able to actually, because you have to have a hypothesis first. Nobody runs a clinical study without a hypothesis. Well, the hypothesis in natural health is that urinary tract infections are often linked to gut microbiome. So then they say, oh, okay, well, let's test it. And then they test it, and lo and behold, wow, 80+%. And we've got 9 clinical studies here. We'll link those up for you. But, again, please do let us know if there's any continuing questions. We have a healthy urinary tract protocol. If you do end up with any urinary tract-based issues, again, not medical advice, and then you work on the gut microbiome with either the lab testing and or CBO protocol plus that citruscyl. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, I cannot link up any of the protocols we do because that's looking like talking about a disease and then linking up a treatment plan, which we're not talking about that, and the FDA doesn't allow it. So you can always find everything I'm talking about at StephenCabral.com/shop, and then it will be your decision, right? Not the government's, not anybody else's, to make the decision that's right for you. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Of course, feel free to pass the show along to anyone you believe it could serve, and all links will be at StephenCabral.com/2583. Don't forget to tune back in tomorrow where we answer our community's questions. Take care, everybody. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at EquiLife, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquiLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.